Blizzard may have just saved Season of Discovery. Season of Discovery Phase 2 was in a good and bad place. In my opinion, I was actually complaining for the last week about being able to play your other classes in Season of Discovery Phase 2. The leveling process from 25 up to 40 was a struggle. And if you want to experience all of your new runes and just be able to do the raid or try new things or PvP on a different class, it definitely took a very long time, and you were stuck in Scarlet Monastery 99% of the time just because questing was so incredibly inefficient. Now, Blizzard has just came out with a blue post, a very large blue post from Agrand on the team's decisions for that, as well as covering the hot topic of 40-man raids and moving up into maybe 20-man raids. So we're going to talk about the future today, and it's actually going to be this snippet from stream. I apologize for that, but I want to get you guys all the information as fast as possible, and we'll break it all down in another video that will be out tomorrow. But this is just all of the information for you guys so you know what just happened. Actually, I don't even need to do it through stream. Let's just go for it right now. I want to show you guys what happened. XP buff and leveling. Wow, a massive XP buff is coming next week. We are getting a 100% XP buff. So you're going to get the Discoverer's Delight buff. The buff that you have from level 1 to 25 is now going to take you all the way up to level 40, and it is going to be 100% XP gains instead of 50%. This literally cuts the leveling experience down in half, and it makes it so much easier to actually level your alts. But you might be thinking, well, I still might be stuck in Scarlet Monastery because quests are inefficient, and what about having more gold and whatnot? Well, they're also making the raid or the mount cost half of the price. So mounts are going down by half the price. They have not adjusted what the level 60 mount cost will change, but the gold cost of mount is going down by half, which is amazing. And the gold gains you get from questing is going up, but only while leveling. Whilst leveling from 1 to 40 until your max level, you will actually get more gold from quests. This is basically to offset the fact that you will be doing less quests now that you will level at twice the speed, right? So you will be doing less quests, so those quests need to give you enough gold. Now, this does not change how much gold you will get at max level. It literally will not change the conversion of gold per XP at max level, so at level 40, but it also means that you're not worried about saving quests while leveling so that you have a way to make gold at max level. This is really nice, and they're looking at adjusting leveling and figuring out how they want to deal with that for phase 3 and the level cap up to 50. Now, the real thing, this is the biggest, most important part of this whole day for me personally, and it might be different for a lot of you, but Season of Discovery is all about alts. We've never ever had this version of the game where there are this version of these classes. Shamans, enhanced shamans actually being viable, enhanced shaman tanks, rogues in DPS or rogues in classic with shadow step, melee hunters, all of it, right? All of these things are really fun and new, and we want to try them out, or at least a lot of people want to be able to play them. Some people are very content just playing their one class and doing that forever. But personally, I want to play everything. I want to try out these new specializations. I want to try them out in raids or PvP, like I was mentioning earlier. I want to be able to play the game, and max level is where the game really succeeds. That is the juice of World of Warcraft is always max level. Personally, being able to do things, being able to play the game and experience the class instead of just spending forever slowly leveling, which is much more of the experience for hardcore. Now, if we look at raid size, the raid size conversation. Now, we have probably seen, or you've probably seen the Dexerto interview where Blizzard said that we will have 40-man raids at level 60. This has set off a lot of people to be very frustrated, and they've actually announced that next phase and the first raid at level 60 will be 20-man raids, because it's going to be very hard to go from a 10-man group to a 40-man group. It's really hard. You're going to have to combine guilds, and your guild needs to be massive. But we're now moving next phase and easing into it all by getting 20-man raids at level 50, and Molten Core will also be a 20-man raid. That makes it so much easier to ease in. Now, they are also looking to adjust it, or potentially they're open to changing things for the later tiers, although they did admit that it is definitely a hard thing, right? It's going to take away a lot of their attention from actually making new content at level 60 if they have to adjust all of the new or old raids to be a 20-man raid, basically. Which instead they could just make the raids eventually 40-man raids and have them be something like new mechanics, a lot harder, which they actually go into. So we're definitely gonna get new mechanics or adjustments to the power scaling of the raids, as well as better gear. They even mention that you will have better itemization at level 60. The specializations that didn't get any good gear. Retribution Paladins, Enhancement Shamans, Ellie Shamans, Resto Druids, whatever it is, you will actually have gear now specified for your specialization. And this will be a huge, huge change. The end game of level 60 is where Season of Discovery, I think, will absolutely super shine. And that's what's exciting. You don't want to dull things down too much in the phases. You want to be able to continue playing all of the classes you want to be able to decide what you want to like main at 60 for a lot of people. A lot of people are set in stone with what they want, but Blizzard is also doing investigations now to decide if they want to stay at level 40 or 40-man raids or 20-man raids. But they do mention that they will probably also have catch-up raids like ZG. I think it's somewhere. Okay, raids like ZG, where that raid will be potentially stronger, and instead of actually being stuck doing that raid as like a catch-up with like no gear that's actually better for you except for like 1 or 2 pieces, ZG would now be a raid that you could do that compensates if you don't want to do 40-man raids. Like they've said basically that some guilds might want to do 20-man raids and some guilds would do 40-man raids, and people will do both. So they're giving you kind of the option for that, although they said infrastructure wise they cannot do things like flex raids. So you cannot do flex raiding. It's just not a possibility. I'm curious how you guys feel about it, and let me know in the comments, because Blizzard's definitely listening, right? They're obviously listening, and they literally said they want feedback. Do you want those 40-man raids? Moving up into 20-man raids, will it make it easy to go into 40-man raids? I know a lot of people have very, very differing opinions on this, but I'm excited about the future of the game. The biggest issue, I cannot stress this enough, is not being able to, or not feeling like you want to play the other classes because it takes too long to level. But now you can just play the other classes. You could try everything out. That's what the most exciting thing about SoD is, like, everything's so new. Now, for itemization, like I mentioned, you will definitely get gear for your specializations, but also the gear from existing raids and 20-man raids will be buffed. I would also anticipate like 5-man dungeons and stuff will have a lot better gear as well, because we're completely outscaling the gear from level 60, especially with next phase also. You can be ready for theoretical examples like a catch-up raid ZG being turned into just an actual good raid that is extra content during the same phase as Blackwing Lair. That is very, very dope. And we're also gonna get more gear, more consistent rewards. 40-man raids hopefully will drop more loot, because we're very used to having the same like loot distribution that we're seeing. We have raids on a 3-day lockout, so you're seeing the same ridiculous high chances of getting loot on your characters, whereas in a 40-man raid there'd be like 4 items that would drop every week off each boss, and that would only go to like 1 person. You wouldn't get loot for like most of the phase. And I think they're really dealing with a lot of those major issues with Classic World of Warcraft that aren't necessarily beneficial to Classic. We've already done Classic once. We've done Season of Discovery, and you've probably done Hardcore as well. So this is the new version, or Season of Mastery, I apologize. The new version of WoW, and I think they're really dealing with a lot of the qualms, a lot of the issues that people have, and making the game more fun and accessible to everyone. So massive hats off to Blizzard. This is like the biggest W. I'm so happy right now. I'm literally so happy. Today I apologized on stream for being so pessimistic, because I feel like I didn't want to level my alts, because I didn't want to sit in Scarlet Monastery, and questing just didn't feel rewarding. But all I want to do is play those classes. I just want to play Feral Druid, Rogue, Warlock, Mage. I want to play everything. Shaman, now that it's so insanely strong. But it just didn't feel rewarding to level them. That was my personal biggest qualm. I do think personally that it'd be nice if like once you hit level or max level on your main character or one character, then all of your ults will have an increase in level gains, because then you leveled normally and then you can level up your other characters in a much quicker fashion. I think that would be a really nice addition to the game. I think that would change a lot of the way we experience it, and maybe they'll do that for level 50. So shout out to Blizzard, and guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments. But this is the biggest update ever. This is the save the game for me. The game's back. Let's go. Oh my god, I'm so excited.